Hello, I'm Tony Gutierrez from Nebulb, and today I'm going to show you the first time in English the new software for landscape astrophotography, Nebulb. Nebulb is a software, a stacking software that its main goal is to reduce drastically the light pollution to and allow you to get an amazing pictures of the Milky Way, even in places where it's very hard to see the Milky Way at, by the eyes, by the human eyes. And moreover, Nebulb has a lot of features related, all of them, to resolve the typical problems in landscape astrophotography. For example, one of them, and the main problem, is the problem of light pollution, because Nebulb has a specific module to reduce a lot the light pollution. Another module that has Nebulb is a specific tool to manage the picture of meteor showers, to detect automatically the meteors, align the meteors according to the radiant, and a lot of things related with this. And the last tool, or the last important tool that Nebulb has, is a specific process to reduce, for example, to eliminate planes, satellites, something like that in star trails pictures, because it's a boring and very hard job if you have to remove all the traces of planes and satellites from the pictures by hand. And Nebulb do that job for you automatically. And in this video, I'm going to show you the first module, well, I'm going to show you a general view of Nebulb, because it's the first time that I'm recording a video in English, and I'll show you Nebulb, and I process in a few minutes a picture of a Milky Way taken in a place with it was impossible to see it by my eyes, my own eyes. And okay, I'm going. First of all, okay, this is Nebulb. This is Nebulb, the interface, the main interface of Nebulb, and is first of all, it's a Windows-based program. The first version of Nebulb works only over Windows. If you are Mac users, you have to think about use a virtual machine, install a second partition to install Windows 11 in your Mac. But the first version of Nebulb is only for Windows. In the future, I will release it for Mac as well, but this version is for Windows. Then this is a main interface of Nebulb, and at the left side you have a bar with different tools. At the right side you have another bar with different tools as well. The main tools are disabled because we haven't loaded any picture yet. And at the middle we have a display to show the picture and some tools related to select the mask. Okay, Nebulb, it pretends to be a very easy to use software. Then I'm going to show you that it's very easy to manage this software. First of all, the thing that you have to do is to load pictures. And one thing that I have to say to you is that Nebulb is a stacking software. It's a software that it performs stacking of images to reduce. The main goal of the stacking is to reduce the noise. You could process standalone images as well, but the powerful of Nebulb is shown if you stack, because the noise reduction that you get is the very high, the noise reduction, and you get images noise free, and after that you can process and you get all the information that is hidden behind the noise. And for this reason I'm going to load some picture of a session. This is a all the pictures are raw files. My camera is a Nikon D810. This is one of these raw files, and you see the original, the noise or something all related with nightscape photography with high ISO, and And as you can see, the Milky Way is here. It's difficult to see by my eyes. By Nike eyes, it was impossible to see it. But in the picture, due to the high sensibility of the camera, it's possible to see, but it's not a pretty Milky Way picture because it's very, very weak. Here it is. And I'm going to try to highlight the Milky Way with the Nebulb software. Okay, come on. First of all, in Nebulb, you have to load all the pictures of the session. Then you can drag and drop the pictures. And now Nebulb is loading the original raw files. You don't need to perform any format conversion. No, it's not necessary. And then at the left, in this area of the left, you can see at the left top area an histogram. Okay, I'm going to change the language in English. Okay, you can see the histogram of the picture, and the second section is the import images, the section where you can find the information of the pictures that you have loaded in the software. And as you can see, we have loaded 112 pictures with a total of capture time of 15 minutes, more or less. For me, it's enough. It's not necessary to stack 1 hour or more. No, with 15 minutes, it's enough to get great results. I'll show you it. And you have information of the first image of the stack, the base image, that is the picture that is in the middle, and the last one. Okay, you have here some information. You could remove the picture, or you load it more if you want, but it's good for me with this sample. You have another section with preprocessed picture. It's not necessary for this video. I do not set up anything about that. And I'm going to change my position. There is a last section related to the export of images. The results that you get with Nebulb, you will be able to export to process if you want in Photoshop or in other software. It's not necessary in some cases for me, because a lot of times I finish the picture here, but if you want, you could export in different formats, TIFF, JPG, JPEG, PNG, the standard formats, 16 on 8 bits. You have different options to export the picture, the final pictures. And once, okay, I'm going to change my position again here. Once you have loaded the pictures and everything is okay, you can zoom in or zoom out. You have different options. The only thing that you have to do is to tell Nebulb where is the sky area, because all these pictures are taken without any star trackers. Then the stars during all the capture time, during the 15 minutes, the stars were moving during the rotation of the Earth. Then, to correct the star movement, Nebulb needs to know where is the sky area. For this reason, you have to select a mask. It's very easy to select that one, because it's an approximate mask. It's not accuracy. It's not accuracy needed, as you can see now, for example. You can select by hand. This is a normal mask. You can perform the horizon like that. It's like that. It's not necessary more accuracy for this tool. Due to there is a low contrast in the horizon because it's too dark, the sea area comparing with the sky area. I performing this by hand because, as I've said to you, it's not necessary to be very accurate. The only important thing is don't select anything in the ground area and it's enough. You can check all the area in the horizon and it's enough. Okay, here. When you get an area that the contrast between the sky and ground is higher, you can change the tool to the magic brush, magic wizard, this. And as you can see, it's automatically selected the sky area. You can change from this tool the sensitivity to get more accuracy, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary because this is an approximate mask. But in this area, that is easier to select because the contrast is very high. As you can see, it's very easy to select the sky mask. Okay, we are finishing. This is the more boring task that you can do in Nebulb, another one, but it's too fast. Okay, this, for example, this is not a good selection because I've selected the ground area, the mountains that are in the horizon. Then you could remove this area, and if you want, you can select it by hand. It's enough. Don't worry about the precision of this selection. It's not important. Believe me, I'll show you after. And when you have all the horizons selected, you only have to fill in. Okay. Okay. This is it. And you have all the sky selected. Yes, that's all. Once you have the sky selected, you have finished the previous work. You have loaded, first of all, you have loaded the pictures. Second, you have selected the sky area. And third, the only thing that you have to do is tell Nebulb what have to do Nebulb with these pictures. You have in the right side, the top right, at the top right area section, in this section of here, you have, first of all, different options, but the easiest way is to select a preset. What have to do Nebulb during the stacking? Full processing is the best option in most cases. It's the most time consuming because Nebulb has to do all the jobs that has a program, but you get the more as well. Or if you only want to process a Milky Way or a meteor shower or a star trail, deep space even, Nebulb is not a specific software to process deep space images, but as well you can try it. I've tried it several times and the results are quite interesting, but Nebulb is not a specific software. There are better software for that reason. And the last one, you could get a simple stacking. There. For this sample, full processing, because I'll show you all the options, all you can get with Nebulb. After that, you only have to start stacking. Okay, first of all, you have to save the project, because Nebulb, similar to Photoshop, works with projects. You have to work a project, for example, here. Yes, a test project. Okay, and all the information of that you are selecting, all the mask, all the results that we get after the stacking, are going to be saved in this file. All the raw files as no, because the size, problem of the size, but the base image, this image, the original raw files also is safe in the project, in the file project, in the Nebulb file project. Okay, now we are ready to start stacking. And the only thing, do you want to start the stacking of images as well? Yes. And okay, Nebulb is asking me for a temporary working folder because during the stacking process, Nebulb is going to save a lot of files or a lot of information in the hard disk to avoid lose information. For example, if you have a problem with your computer and it turns off suddenly, Nebulb don't lose the progress. All the information is safely in the hard disk to avoid you to repeat the stacking process. It's important, this thing, when you have to process, for example, how is my case, 1,000 or 2,000 of pictures that I've captured during a meteor shower, and the process is several hours. Then it's important. For this reason, to avoid risk of lose information, Nebulb asks you for a temporary folder. Then you select a folder where you can, when Nebulb could write folders and files and temporary files, and it's enough. Okay, for me I have a specific temporary folder here. Select the folder and Nebulb starts stacking. The stacking process, it depends. It takes a variable time because it depends on how many pictures have to stack Nebulb. In this case, we have to stack 112 pictures, and it may be more or less, I'm going to wait. For example, in this case, you can see the bottom area of the software. 11 minutes is an estimation to pre-process the images. And the total time, I suppose it will be more or less 20 minutes, more or less. 50 miniatures captures, more or less 100 pictures. In my computer, that is a laptop, it takes more or less 20 minutes. For this reason, I'm going to stop the video and I'll show you. I'm going to stop the stacking process, because another thing that you could perform with Nebulb is to stop, to pause, stop, resume the stacking. For example, I could pause the stacking in Nebulb, and after that, for example, maybe you have to switch off to power off the computer, and after that maybe you would resume the stacking. It's possible. You could resume, for example. Do you want to resume? It's possible. You don't have to start at the beginning of the stacking. All the progress that it has been done before, you could preserve that work. Okay. I'm going to show you the result after. I'm going to continue with the result after the stacking, because I've done it before. Here in this folder I have the result that you get after the stacking have been done. And as you can see, now I'm not loading pictures, I'm loading a project, a Nebulb project. Then this is the result. The original one, as you can see here, 112 pictures, 15 minutes of capture, as well as before. And here we have habilitated a combo box, a list box, and we have several things. For example, the original image. One thing, I'm going to hide this. The original image is like that, the same image, the base image. Then, 1 minute. Then you can see the noise, okay, the noise, because it's an original, a standalone image. But if you selected align stars, you get that you can see that the noise is over. There isn't noise. It's absolutely noise-free image. This is, if you can see the comparing, an original raw picture, and this is the result of the stacking progress. As you can see, and I've told you before, it's an absolutely noise-free picture due to the noise reduction process performed during the stacking. But okay, we have a noise-free image, but where is the Milky Way? Here, the Milky Way is here, but it's not very clear, the Milky Way. For this reason, okay, you can see, first of this, you can see that in the right toolbar, all the controls are enabled now, all the enabled. Before loading and before stacking, all these controls were disabled, but now we have finished the stacking because this button is telling us that the stacking is done. And for this reason, all the controls are enabled. You can develop the whole image because, for example, it is a basic development tool, but it's enough to perform a first processing. If you could do things more complicated, you could do that after in Photoshop, for example, or Capture One or something like that. But you have a basic development tool here, and you can apply this develop to the whole image or only to the sky, to the ground area, or only to the sky area. Then you can select a different, because as you have selected before a mask for the sky, Nebulb could apply different development parameters to the sky area than to the ground area, and a different set of parameters to the whole image. It's very easy to develop the image with different adjustments for the sky, for the ground, and to balance the whole image. But I'm not changing everything with this because I'm interested now to show you the light pollution module. The light pollution module is you only see here 3 sliders: reduction, gain, and evenness. And what I wanted with this picture, I wanted to see the Milky Way in a good way. With not like this. I know that the Milky Way is here, but it's not a good picture of Milky Way. I like the Milky Way. It's shown very, very bright. And for this reason, we could reduce the light pollution. It's too easy. You could move the slider, and you can see the effect of the slider. At the right, you can see a number. This is the number of steps that the light pollution is reduced. Then here, for example, we have reduced 1 step the light pollution. The sky is darkening, but the Milky Way, as you can see, we can see better now. The Milky Way, 2 steps, 3 steps. The image, the sky area is dark now, darkest, but darker than before, but the Milky Way is clear. As you can see here, you can see perfectly, it's a picture of the Milky Way. And if you get the maximum amount of noise reduction, you could see the Milky Way without any light pollution. But the problem that we have now maybe is that the sky is too dark. Maybe you can apply again to the sky, for example. Okay, this is nicer. This is nicer because you could get all the nebula of the Milky Way as well, as you can see. Or you can apply an evenness to get more uniformity in the sky, for example. If you apply to the maximum this control, it's not natural because all the light is too flat, the sky, because there isn't a gradient. All the gradient is corrected by this control, and if don't apply this control, you'll see the natural gradients. You can select the amount of evenness that you like. All these controls you can, as you can see, you can play with these sliders and select the slider that you prefer. For example, for me, maybe 5 steps is too much. Okay, this is better. Okay, then we have a Milky Way picture. I remember you. This is the original one. This is this is awful, this picture. And this is our Milky Way. Yeah, the Milky Way was here. This is an area, Bottle 6, more or less, very close to a high city in Spain, in Valencia, 2 or 3 kilometers at the south area of Valencia, and the commercial port is too close because this is the Mediterranean Sea, and the light pollution here is horrible, absolutely horrible. And this area, because I live here closer to this area, is it's a beautiful area, but the only problem that has is the light pollution. That is awful. And with this control, I've been able to reduce a lot the light pollution. I get my Milky Way picture. And maybe a thing that you are now watching is this all three. This area is not natural because it's not soft. We can see why, because I've selected before the area of the sky, and there is a module here at the bottom of Nebulb to blend the area of the sky with the area of the ground, and to get a natural transition, because you can see a natural transition between the sky and the ground. But the problem is that this is not natural. Here is not natural. And for this reason, to avoid this kind of behavior in the areas where there is a subject protruding over the horizon, you can select a different mask. For example, is this mask to enhance blending of subjects protruding above the horizon. Then the only thing that you have to do is to select this object, for example here, and to reload. Mask is the same, okay? It's the same. Why is the same? Because now, for example, I'm going to remove this area. Do you want to complete? Okay, I've removed, reload the image. And here in the blending module, this is the module to perform, as I've said before, the transition between the ground and the sky. For example, if I increase the area, the radius area, okay, you can see that the transition between ground and sky is higher. And after that, if I increase the ground transition, you can see that the transition from sky to ground is wider. for show you this better, I'm going to change the adjustment, the develop parameters from ground and sky, and you could see better. Then I'm going to change some parameters for the sky, for example, a warmer images of the sky to show you better the color of the nebula of the Milky Way. Okay, more or less here, a little bit contrast, a bit vibrance, something like that. Okay, more general contrast. Okay, and for the ground area, maybe colder, white balance. Okay, here it is, and higher contrast as well. Okay, and in blend module, for example, I'm going to reduce to the minimum radius. As you can see, for example, okay, you can see the ground area, you can see the sky area, but you can see a horrible transition. A horrible transition because this transition are due to the lights of the close village, and it's not a beautiful transition because the light pollution reduction that we have applied, I have applied, is too high, and then in this area the transition is horrible. For this reason, you can increase the radius of the sky transition. Okay, and you get a more natural feeling, and as well you can increase, okay, the ground transition, and you get a perfect transition as well, as you can see here. Okay, the only thing is that this area is not natural, as I've said you before. For this reason, you can press this button here to improve that area, but the mask to improve the blending of subject protruding above the horizon is not defined. I have to define that area. For this reason, I'm going to select this tool at the bottom, at the top, the brush, select this, and reload. Okay, now it's enabled this area, and I could perform a different adjustment, as you can see here, from the for this subject, as you can see, and now it's more natural. I could increase, reduce a little bit the opacity. Maybe there is a halo as well, but I could reduce. Maybe you could see this transition brighter than the sky. The sky is darker than this area that is clear. Maybe you could perform an exposure balance between sky and ground. If we reduce this control of here, okay, this is for the subject over the horizon, but if I perform for the whole image and rebalance a little bit, yeah, this is more, as you can see, the normal position is 0 in the middle. For me, it's too clear, this area. It's not very natural. For me, it would be better if I reduce the exposure for the transition. Yeah, it's more natural. Now, to increase a little bit the radius, okay. And for the subject over the horizon, maybe I could reduce the ground transition. Okay. Yeah, this is better. This is and reduce the exposure balance. Okay, this is absolutely perfect for this, and the only problem that we have now is this. Okay, this problem that we could resolve very easy, because we could perform is not something like that. To avoid this transition, this area of the subject is above the horizon, is under the horizon, but to get a more natural look and feel, you could select it even subjects that are under the horizon. It's not necessary to be very accurate for this as well, because the blending module performs some transition mask for you, more or less like Photoshop, like you can do with Photoshop, playing with mask and brushes and opacity or something like that. And for this, okay, reload. Okay, this is better. This is here we could increase this, this one as well. No, this one for this. Okay, it's up to you. Decide the best position. For me, in this picture, I prefer this. Yeah, for this, it's for me better. And you can. After that, you get. It's not too natural because. Okay. I'm going to reduce this. Okay. And maybe the difference between sky and ground maybe is too high. I could reduce a little bit this. Okay, yeah. And performs or increase the transition. Okay, it's too better here. Okay, more natural. Then, as you can see, I'm going to leave it was before here. Okay, as you can see, you get a very, very natural picture with the perfect horizon, with a subject over the horizon, and it's perfect, and you get a amazing, for me it's amazing Milky Way, because I couldn't see with my own eyes, and for me this is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. If you compare the original picture with this, and the result for me is incredible. And only inside Nebulb, you don't have to perform any task outside Nebulb. I imported the raw files directly to Nebulb. Nebulb have processed the raw files, and you get all inside this tool. After that, if you want to finish or to perform more processing of this picture, you could export the picture to a standard format and to do what you want in Photoshop, capture one, what you want. And the last thing, very, very fast. At the beginning, I've selected full processing. What does it mean? That Nebulb has processed has applied all the process that it has to in program. And as you can see, the flying object section is enabled. What is this? A flying object is an option to process the meteor shower. And you can see, for example, that during these 15 minutes, Nebulb has detected it was 2 meteors. This is the green lines of here. And if you could see, you could select the picture of these meteors, and and you can as well get the meteors over the Milky Way. And if you think that the meteors, you can perform some adjustment, for example, increase the level or the exposure of the meteors to see better. I'm not get deep in this video in this area, but the idea is that you can can develop and perform adjustments to the meteors. Nebulb has detected automatically, has a place in the exact place of the sky where this meteor appears, and after that you could perform some adjustments to see all the meteors as you want. For example, in this session I get a Milky Way picture without meteors, a Milky Way picture with meteors, and as well, because I've selected full processing, I get an star trail picture of this picture, and a star trail picture as well, without planes, without satellites traces, because I've selected an option here at the bottom top right area, star trails remove flying objects. Then, for example, the original picture, the original stacking picture get with the maximum, the normal one, the normal picture that you get if you perform an stacking of the maximum of all images, is this one, with satellite traces, holes, a plane or satellite. This is a horrible picture, more satellite from here, but Nebulb has performed automatically a flying object reduction. As you can see, you can't see anything. It's automatically. You only have to select this option at the beginning, first to perform of the stack, and after that Nebulb performs for you all the reduction, all the elimination of the flying objects, satellites, as well planes, everything, and you haven't got anything. And as well, the holes, for example, the holes that you can see in the traces, here you can see a gap in this moment, because maybe I don't remember, but maybe I stopped the capture to review a picture or something like that, and you can see a gap here, and Nebulb has performed as well a gap filling. You can see without undesirable traces, without planes, without satellites, without anything, only a star trace. And for one session of 15 minutes, I get 3 pictures. One Milky Way picture, that is the picture that I would like to get. Another one, if you could, if you want, increase a little bit the size of the Milky Way to see better. This is an option, and you you can make a displacement of the Milky Way to see it better if you want. It is an option. Okay, you can combine blending option with transform option to get the Milky Way as you want, and to get a perfect blending transition, absolutely perfect, without wasting time. It's too fast to perform or to work or with Nebulb, and to perform a perfect transition without any headache. Then, okay, this is the first video that I'm recording in English, as I've said before to you. Okay, and it is a very fast tutorial of Nebulb. This is an introduction of Nebulb. From now I'm going to record more videos with showing you what you can get with Nebulb for processing Milky Way, reducing light pollution, processing meteor shower pictures, processing star trails, all the problems that you get to process your landscape astrophotographies. Nebulb intends to remove that problems, to solve your problems, and to avoid you to spend a lot of time in front of your computer performing boring tasks. Then this is Nebulb. Nebulb goes on sale on April 21. This is the first day that Nebulb will be on sale. If you like this software, if you think that this software could help you to improve your photography, to get photographies that at this moment you think that it wasn't impossible to get due to light pollution, for example, or it was too hard to get, for example, a meteor shower picture of with a lot of meteors aligned according to the radiant, and something, all this kind of situation. If you think that Nebulb could help you to enjoy astrophotography, then join to nebulb.com. Here I show you the website, nebulb.com, and here you could see a lot of samples, real samples, only processed by Nebulb, not in Photoshop or even in another software. Only all the samples in the website are original raw files processed only with Nebulb. Here is the attention message, and it's on sale April 21. And if you want to know more about Nebulb, if you are interested to know more about Nebulb, to benefit from the special launching condition that will be on the launching of this software, because it's a very new software, you have to subscribe to the Nebulb newsletter and you get all the information. Then this is all I wanted to tell you. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll talk and I'll show you more things about Nebulb in the next videos. See you, bye.